Hello, everybody. Welcome back eventually to Masks Monday. Some of us have been on holiday for a while, and because of that, I am now hideously out of practice, but we should be fine. We are up to session 44, however, of Masks of Nyarlathotep. And yeah, a bit of an interesting predicament that the players are in, but we'll see what that is in a second. Before then, we will introduce the players, or rather their characters, as per usual. Let us start off with Mr. I did get this right at one point. Pranit Singh Dhillon.
Yes, my name is Pranit Singh Dhillon. I'm a former soldier and I was recently robbed on our way to Hong Kong, but met a lovely lady that gave me a new sword. So hopefully I won't have to sell my soul in order to pay for that sword. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Hopefully not. I'd rather not.
And we also have Charles Barrington-Smythe.
Yes, I'm Charles Barrington-Smythe, and I think I could be the first person who's really, really in danger. I'm not quite sure whether it's my life or the fact that I'm going to ask for Earl Grey in a shop that only sells Darjeeling. So I'm not sure whether it's going to be a bullet or a faux pas that I suffer from.
And we have Miss Annie Jones.
Oh, hello. You caught me out. I was busy reading an occult tome. It's a bill from British Telecom. Anyway, I am Annie Jones. I'm an occult researcher. You can often find me in rummaging through papers, except during this campaign, I'm mostly just trying to keep these three on the right path. It's a nightmare.
You do have a new
nightmare of Cthulhu.
You do have a new tome though to dip into though if things get too tough for you.
What was that?
That was a book that Madam Lin gave you.
Oh, she did, didn't she? But she's getting it translated for me. I don't think I've got the English yet.
That's right. Yes. And you have a nicely, well, sort of nicely adjusted Who in a bigger tank with plants and things as well, or cage or what have you. And finally, last but my name is least, we have Mr. Perry Astor.
Yes, you do. Not a academic in any sort of way. Explorer, man of action, and Canadian. Has managed to stay relatively healthy through Shanghai, but that's probably about to change. I've acquired some tattoos from an Egyptian god along the way, and hopefully I'm relying on those to save me. I think with the holy word of blessing from on above.
Sorry, it was just the way you worded your first sentence. You were basically implying that Canadians were not academic in any way at all.
I'm not academic.
Context is everything. And speaking of context, shall we get a summary for last session as to what happened?
You can get a summary with permission of a team leader. Yes,
at least remember that bit.
Yeah, well, the last session sort of started with Pranit and Perry face to face with Brady for the first time. We'd gone to a warehouse to meet Brady, or we'd gone to a warehouse to meet the new China Army, but we actually came face to face with Brady. After a short discussion, because it got a little bit tricky at the beginning because of presenting ourselves at the start to be with Gavagan. Pranit was held at gunpoint for a while until we could explain ourselves. Brady then sort of showed us a map of something called Grey Dragon Island, where Gavagan was building the machine that we'd previously misappropriated parts to. He confirmed that Penhu was alive and that Gavagan was in Shanghai. And also possibly that Penhu was the Pale Viper. He was very nervous during the whole meeting. He kept checking out of the window. But in the end, I think we were quite successful. We came to an understanding with the new China Army and Brady, and we arranged another meeting with the group for 8 o'clock the next day. and the password we're looking out for was sweet cake. Someone's going to ask us if we want a sweet cake. Meanwhile, while we were doing that, Annie and Charles went to check out Min Yen Yu's house. They walked past a house called the House of Quiet Repose on Yu Yang Road, and it seemed to be heavily guarded. They also checked out the restaurant before we went, where they're going to have the meeting later on in the day. So they came back to meet us at the hotel, and we came up with a plan that Perry and Charles were going to stay outside to be cover in case it went wrong, because it all seemed like a big trap. And this restaurant was called the Oriental Pearl. When this Min Yang Yu turned up, she was very, very expensively dressed. She showed off her power throughout the whole meeting by splashing the cash and lots of information. She gave a lot of information. She was terribly charismatic through the whole meeting. Then she dived straight in. Oh, and actually, that was a bit I missed there, didn't I? She seemed to know who was, which was Annie's pet chameleon. Seemed to know who was and what she was. But then she dived straight in and started talking about Brady. She understood that we knew Brady and wanted us to retrieve certain items, which were 7 books that he'd stolen from her. These books that Annie correctly supposed was that could recreate the capstone or some sort of seal to trap the Black Pharaoh. As they were having a meeting, Charles and Perry got an invitation to dinner that we couldn't really refuse at the point of a very sharp knife. So we went into the restaurant and joined the party. Then Annie approached the subject of Ho Fang. We confirmed that he was in charge of the Order of the Bloated Woman, and Annie got an indication that he was also the Gavagan was the Pale Viper. Then at the end of the meeting, Annie was giving a very small occult book that she was offered a translation of, and Pranit got a new sword, which he nearly refused, but he remembered where he was and he accepted it. Charles did a very good role, and he got the impression that she was sort of like a neutral force in Shanghai, that she was a very powerful ally to have, but she could tip either way in a pinch. I think that's my notes, so that's about where we ended it.
Basically, yes. Give yourself a D10 worth of luck, Perry.
A D10.
Although I think next to that window, there's a very high-pitched beeping, which is going up outside.
I got a
Very
4.
nice-looking moon, though, today.
Oh.
Where the hell that's coming from? Well, there was this the very last bit, which is where we left off, which was where I believe it was the next morning on the Saturday. You were going to all head to the tea house, the autumn morning tea house, to meet up with Seaman or possibly representative and head to have a meeting, all 4 of you, with
Yes.
Brady at the warehouse.
We didn't know who was going to meet us, but that's why the password was sweet cakes.
Indeed. And basically, with some very successful spot hidden rolls, but not so successful stealth rolls, you kind of did a slightly Scooby-Doo wandering around the houses trying to shake Madam Lin's tail, as they were, you presume, following you to keep tabs on whereabouts you were. So after that kind of toing and froing, and you know what I mean, with the going from door to door and what have you, we have just Charles at the tea house, and the rest of you are at the Seaman's Club, which I'm not sure if I made it fully clear, but yes, there was all the kind of issues with the Seaman's Club and all that damage, but it was only on a section of the building. So the rest of it is still in use, technically, you think. But we will jump to the three of you in a moment. I'll deal with Charles first, since he seems absolutely adamant he's going to be killed off.
Something I have been saying for several sessions in a row just before we come on air. Yes,
so
it has to be just to clarify that my character wasn't given this code word.
No, you weren't. Or maybe you were. To be fair, I watched the video like 2 weeks ago.
I mean, I think we would have passed the information on.
I believe we all had it.
Because
Sure,
the plan was whoever could kick the tail went. And whoever lost the tail was going to go to the meeting. So it would have made no sense for us to keep the password to ourselves and then not pitch up.
True.
Yes, but you now run the risk of the fact that you've given the password to the one person who could seriously screw it up.
Okay, so I'm assuming that you're going to be heading on in, or are you waiting for the others outside, actually?
I think I'd already said I'd gone in.
You'd already gone in. Okay. Coolio.
Well, the thing is, it's just going to look silly if I hang around there waiting for them, because if they don't shake their tails, then I'm just going to be hanging out there. I'm just going to be, hanging outside the tea shop all day.
Very true. Alrighty then.
It's not like we can contact each other on a phone or something.
Not yet, you can't know. Hello, Matteo. We'll see you later. Okay, so you head on in, and it's quite busy today. There's a little bit of a rush going on, you think, but you take a seat. After a few minutes, a young lady comes up to your table, says in very basic English, if you'd like a tea or anything.
Yes, I'd like some sweet cakes, please.
She sort of looks a little confused just for a brief second, but goes, yes, I understand. And she heads on up. And she sort of almost like whispers in the ear of one of the guys behind the counter, who just kind of eyes you up and down. But then he goes out the back.
Sweet cakes indeed.
And yes, he gets the sweet cakes right from the back of the store. But yes, so then out comes somebody else who you assume is with New China, and they kind of come up to you. They appear to be finishing their shift, sort of thing. So they're kind of getting a jacket on, and he looks you up and down, and then realizes you're by yourself, and he says, "There should be more of you."
Yes, I am awaiting my friends. This should be along presently.
They do not like to be kept waiting.
I am sure that they're. We out of necessity, we each took a scenic route to come here. So we all. I'm sure they'll be here presently. Don't worry about it.
He keeps checking the door just in case the three of you happen to be coming in whilst you're talking. But eventually he reluctantly takes a seat. He calls out for some more tea, you think, in Chinese. And actually, yes, you do get some tea, and he just sort of restlessly, taps his foot, waiting and so on. Meanwhile, the three of you. So yeah, you think now that you have lost them, or at least they become bored enough to leave you alone for a bit. But you're basically you're in a fairly what you think is quite a busy kind of. There's quite a few taverns and other eateries along here, as well as this rather fancy-looking Seaman's Club. Apart from the obvious damage, of course, to it. So, like I mentioned, you can hear activity inside, and it's lit inside, so you assume that it is still running as usual. But yeah, just across this little stretch of river, you can see there's some slightly more rowdy places like pubs and so on, but they've got a rather nice view of the waterfront going on. So what is your plan?
Yeah, given the fact that we shook our tails, I don't know about the other two, but I believe it's worth it to make our way stealthily again towards the tea house.
Yes, I mean, there was some notion of investigating this, although, to be honest, it doesn't take 3 of us, I think, and I'm a little bit worried with who we've left at the tea shop. One can only assume he didn't spot his tail.
Oh, come on, be a little more confident about our drunk friend.
Why? I'm not.
Yet.
Pranit and Perry, give your spot hiddens a tick if they're not done so already.
All right.
Perry, you definitely hear, well, not hear, you kind of, you notice some activity just inside the door. And you notice a waiter just comes out briefly and starts heading around the corner, maybe to sweep up some of the walkway. But you can't help but notice that he definitely looks at the 3 of you just for slightly too long than would be normal before he heads on round. Pranit, you got an extreme. You also think from across the way in the taverns, there are a few people just dotted through this sort of line of places that are possibly watching you.
So I whisper to Annie and Perry that we didn't shake anything because they're still watching us.
Well, you don't know if it's necessarily Team Madam Lin, shall we say. They're not dressed in the same way as her other stalkers. They're not in uniform. It's just simply, obviously, apart from the waiter who's in some sort of smart clothing, the lot, sitting at the taverns, they look very easily like they could blend in. They're just sort of general civilians, but they're definitely keeping an eye on you.
You know what? This feels like it's Ho Fong.
You're muted, Perry.
Yeah, he's running the theory that if he's muted, he can't do anything wrong.
I know, it's sneaky, isn't it?
I was saying it feels worse than the meeting at the tea shop we should be at.
That's a bit, doesn't it?
So what do we want to do?
I think we've got to lose the second set of tails. That's what I think we've got to do.
Well, only if we're going back to the tea shop. There's no harm in poking around here for a bit. It's what we agreed.
What?
You hear from Crosstown.
What?
Yeah, I suppose it'd be handy if we can find out what any of these things were that meant to have come out of the water. But
Well, it's those things that we've come across in other. Well, you came across in other places. The description's the same. I mean, you can have a little nose around. But all it's going to do is point us towards Ho Fung. That's probably why his people are looking at us now.
I would tend to agree.
yes.
I mean, certainly the parts of the place that are open look rather nice. It's quite a big, it's not just like a small gentleman's club, it's quite a big establishment.
Can I have a look at the parts of the place that aren't open? Does this look like the same kind of damage I saw in the brothel?
You don't have either of those skills there. I mean, you take a look. It's different in that it's not like the roof has caved in, which is basically the nature of the brothel. In this case, the story was that there was seepage that caused kind of collapse from underneath because it's right next to the water. I mean, it's difficult, somebody without any expertise really to tell. But there are plenty of people here, and of course, again, being a big establishment, lots of staff. So you're bound to find out possibly through, asking around if you want.
I'll give it a few thousand years and I'll be able to tell what caused this, but
Perry, you don't have geology, do you?
I don't believe that I do.
Science geology.
That would be under science, wouldn't it? I suppose.
Yes.
No.
Or mechanical repair?
Mechanical repair. I have a 40 in mechanical repair.
Oh, you could do that if you wanted, if you're having a look as well.
Okay, I could give it a roll. 27.
Ooh. Do you want to spend any luck to make that a hard?
How are we feeling about the group luck rolls? I'm on 43.
The gloop
we've
luck
only
rolls.
just got you out of bottoming out.
Yeah, you're still doing group luck rolls because I'm 46.
Or do we do? Yeah, okay. So it doesn't really matter if I spend 7, then, does it?
Well,
For
yes. You're lowering group luck.
Okay. Okay, it's just a pass.
I mean, it's your decision. It's your character.
It's a pass with it. I mean, I don't particularly know much about buildings, I suppose, so I don't know why I would have a big insight into it.
No, okay, fair. Okay, so yeah, you have a good luck. It is quite difficult to tell. You don't know if it's because they've maybe started trying to restore this. It might have been seepage, but also it's quite possible it might not have been. But you don't really have evidence for
If
either
your
or.
skill tells you that it might have been seepage, then you definitely failed.
It's plausible, but not for certain. It could have been.
Yeah, it is. We knew it wasn't. Didn't even need a like. We know that's not true.
But it's the only building with a problem along the seafront, isn't it? There's
Yes.
No one else.
Yes.
Got problem. Okay.
It was all those bloody tourists. That was the problem.
Okay, I'll start asking random people about it then.
Okay, no worries. You do pick up a few people who you think maybe more like locals, and through sort of basic speech and kind of pointing and stuff. Oh, by the way, is your translator with you? I couldn't remember if you brought him.
I don't believe we did.
Or
You
losing
might
the
want to give
towel.
him a day off.
Losing the towels might have been hard to explain to him.
Yeah, it's true. Okay,
unless he's gone with Ronnie.
No. I think you were keen to give him a little break anyway from like after last night.
Don't want to scare him too much.
No. Okay, cool. No, just wondering. Basically, through quite a lot of hand gestures and trying to describe something, a few more elderly gentlemen who obviously like their drink, they talk of almost giant fish, but they kind of do walking motions as well.
So that matches those flying dragon things, doesn't it?
Walking fish.
Yeah. But flying.
They don't do flying.
Oh, they don't do flying?
No, they don't do any flapping motions for you. They just do that. Like a marching motion.
So deep ones coming out of the sea.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was unexpected. Although entirely predictable.
Well, Annie might not necessarily know what a deep one is, even with mythos.
Hold on.
Did we come across them earlier in this campaign, or was that the other one?
No, that was the other one.
So.
Oh, right.
Can you help me sort of square that circle where you say that was unexpected but completely predictable?
It's typical of Cthulhu, but was not a pattern established yet in this campaign.
I'll go with that.
Is that something that would come from your researches, do you think?
Would I? I mean, I don't know. Should I do a mythos roll to see if I've heard of deep ones?
Actually, yes. Yeah, give me a roll.
09. I think that's a hard pass.
Oh.
Let me just double check. No, I need to spend 3 points to make that a hard pass. So that's what I will do.
Okay.
Because how often do you hard pass Cthulhu Mythos?
Well, indeed. Okay, so it does make sense. And looking at the structure again, something like a deep one could definitely destroy the building in such a way as to how it's appearing now. And it would definitely make sense as to why this is the only building that has had any damage and nothing else, as if it was targeted. So it is all making sense to you, yes.
Yes, you see, when I read the tomes from a completely different campaign, I came across this creature called a deep one. Fish-like creatures, gills in the neck, I seem to recall from the tome, live under the sea.
Oh, come on.
So they're the creatures from the Chinese lagoon.
We really needed those. I mean, we had the sand people, the dragons, the flying snakes, and now the fish people. I mean, that's only fair.
You also notice as well, looking around the damaged area, that whilst there is possibly or possibly not kind of seepage underneath, there's one kind of shattered wall basically that's just kind of come down. And looking at the rubble, there's definitely like a couple of window frames in there, and you can see as well. Although you are kind of encouraged away a little bit by staff at this point, but you also see that there is one room in particular where that would have been a problem, for a rather big problem.
What was lost, I asked the member of staff. What went missing?
What do you mean, what went missing?
What haven't you managed to recover since this collapsed?
Both NPC and Keeper don't understand the question.
Okay.
Sorry.
Annie is running the assumption that the deep ones didn't just randomly wreck a room of this building, that they... Indeed.
Oh, okay, fine. I was like, what missing? What a brick? They shrug their shoulders and say, no, nothing missing.
Who would know?
Well, we checked the room, but the guest was missing, but we think he may have run away.
Who was the guest?
I would have to find out, but he goes away and checks for you in a book, and he confirms that an American by the name of John Smith was staying in that room.
Yes, of course.
No big loss then.
That's a fake name.
Not John Doe.
No, not John Doe. They assume that he either escaped or maybe he died, but there's been no trace of him since.
The only American we're aware of is Brady, currently in Shanghai, isn't it?
Well, if you remember, Annie, when you went to the brothel, the flower woman did mention an American called John as well staying there.
Yeah, I assumed it was Brady, but maybe it was him.
it was a reasonable assumption, given that Jack and John are often used as interchangeable. But yeah, it could be.
Huh. Well, that puts a new spin on things.
So obviously they came for him for some reason.
Twice. Maybe he did the thing. I
The
think.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we had the flying things at the brothel and we had deep ones here.
Yeah.
So could it be that he was was he the target or was he the instigator?
Because there was two people killed at a brothel, wasn't there? It was the prostitute and the
And a
client.
client, yes.
Maybe there's somebody else investigating this cult.
That you know of any, are these fish people somehow related to you know who?
Who?
The bloated woman and the
Who's
Oh, I
Oh,
thought you meant
Black
actually
Sparrow.
who.
I don't think they have a family tree that I've seen. But I doubt very much they're related to gods.
It seems very strange and that they cross over if it was both after the same guy, though.
But anyway, some food for thought. Meanwhile, Charles, you have been waiting with said stern member of the faction for quite some time. He is getting very impatient.
I'm sure that they must have been delayed slightly. I'm sure they'll be coming.
They are not coming. We have been here half an hour.
Yes, but you do have to
Come now or not at all. I'm going now.
You do have to understand that one of our party is an English lady.
He's getting up to go.
The English ladies are renowned for being fashionably late. I do beseech you to at least wait a little
Can
longer.
you make me a persuade roll, please?
Why can't
You
I?
do have... Oh, no,
Why
you don't have
can't
your
I-
bonus now. You spent it.
Why can't I fucking use charm?
You can, but that's not how you charm people. That's persuading. Charming is buttering people up, complimenting them, and getting them to open up about stuff. Maybe complimenting on his jacket.
I think I probably persuaded myself to stay, but not him. I simply do not have enough luck in the world to pull that roll down to even.
Okay. So yeah, you're kind of in a bit of a frazzle as he just marches straight out, and doesn't come back. You've missed the boat.
Shit. I'm so dead. If the bad guys don't kill me, Miss Jones is going to.
Are you intending to stay still and wait for the others to come at this point?
I'm gonna see if I can follow him.
You're gonna follow him, okay? You can try. Let's see. Yeah, make me a spot hidden roll as you kind of get back up and head on out. The crowds have started to thin.
I'll take that. My spot hidden is 25.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled 4. That's
extreme. Yes. Okay. Great. Okay. So you see him fairly quickly. He's not sprinting off or anything, and you are a nice sort of distance away. There's a few people in between, but you've got a beeline on him. So yeah, you kind of keep him going. But as you're so fixed on him, you don't notice, or you just kind of a bit too late. You see somebody in your peripheral vision just bump into you a bit hard. local person, you think, but he just kind of apologizes, looks a little annoyed, but apologizes, and then heads on off. But as you kind of carry on trying to follow your first person, shall we say, a little later, after a couple of strides, you feel just something weighing down your pocket a little bit.
Feel at it outside the pocket. I don't want to suddenly go in there and bring out whatever the fuck it is in the middle of a busy street in Shanghai.
It feels quite delicate, possibly something made of wood, but kind of intricate details.
Right. I'm going to keep my eye on him. I'm going to wait until he stops, and then I'll try and find a secure spot to maybe have a proper look at this item in my pocket. I don't want to stop and have a look at this thing and lose him.
Yeah, makes complete sense. Okay. So you keep on going at a safe distance. Why has they put these in such a separate place? There we go. Okay. Okay. So you head on a bit further. You assume he's going back to wherever the others met. But after a while, you think he does spot you. He's not making a big deal out of it, but he definitely kind of looks back at you. And then he kind of slowly starts walking back as if to meet you.
Well, if he spotted me, I'm not going to start nonchalantly looking in windows.
Why are you following me?
Well, my people were anxious to meet you. I am sure that they have merely been delayed. It would be highly irregular of me to simply let you walk away without me at least having something to show for it. Believe you me, you do not want to get on the wrong end of at least one of their wrathful voices.
He laughs slightly, and actually he looks, although he's trying not to admit it, he's almost a bit impressed that you've kept up with him and kept an eye on him so well. So he says, "Fine, you come." But he takes out just like a piece of rag and ties it around your eyes.
Oh, okay. I haven't played this game since I was 14.
I lead you. Come.
Her name was Marie. She was frightfully interesting.
Okay. So it doesn't take that long then to get to this meeting place. You get it taken off. You get checked over, kind of patted down. And actually,
I was going to say,
they don't seem to notice the thing inside your pocket. They just kind of give you a quick go down. And I don't believe you had a gun on you, did you?
I wasn't armed.
No, you weren't. Okay, fine. But you're led in. And very much like Perry and Pranit saw earlier, it is this warehouse somewhere along the waterfront. There are various people training, things like that. And he tells you to wait. You think maybe just to see if Brady's actually in or Schumann's actually in. Eventually, you're called through. And Brady is there, but he's pacing up and down, and he's looking very worried. Schumann doesn't appear to be there at the moment.
What, who?
Oh, God, who the hell are you? Are you with... you're British. Okay, fine. So presumably you're with Mr. Pranit.
Yes. Yes. He's a good egg. Yes. Frightfully good fellow. Yes, I was meant to be meeting them at the
Yeah.
the tea shoppy,
The rest
and well, we thought perhaps we were being followed. You see, so we took a meandering route. You see, to try and shake them off.
Well, you're not wrong, that's for sure. I was saying to your friends that there are lots of different moving parts, and lots of them certainly want to kill me. And I've just found out that someone else I know has gone missing.
Well, anyone we
Yeah.
may have known, heard of?
Well, maybe not. She was a young woman in the town. And you can see him kind of looking out into one of the main rooms, kind of like maybe paranoia or something. But he kind of leans towards you a little bit, and he says, I'm assuming you've been with women, right? You've had a lover.
One or two. Yes,
Have they
definitely one or two. Yes.
have they ever disappeared before, or anything bad happened to them?
Usually, but that's mostly due to the drink.
Maybe a bad example then, but I haven't slept. I can't stop thinking about her.
As this lady, have you been courting her long?
Well, she saved my life, and yeah, I did stay with her for a few weeks, and we were supposed to leave this place together, but in the end, things are just getting too much. That Sir Aubrey, and I'm assuming the others have filled you in on what's going on. I shouldn't really get attached to someone like that, but at the same time,
the heart wants what the heart wants. Can't deny the course of nature when it comes to matters of love.
at that point, Chumin comes in, and he almost rolls his eyes a bit and says to Brady, "Oh, you're not talking about that flower girl again, are you? Really? We've got far more important things to worry about. We've got an island to invade, not going after some prostitute for you." And you see Brady bang his fist on the table.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to single you out, Mr. Min, but I do have to say that when a good fellow is in love, it is absolutely important. And if this young lady has won his affections, then of course he's going to worry about her safety.
She wrapped him around his little finger. He's not a soldier when he thinks about her. He's a little flower.
It could be, because the rest of my group are a sprightly lot. If they have seen something, perhaps they've gone to investigate the situation before attempting to come to the tea shop. It may very well be that they have new information when they arrive.
Brady, she's probably dead already. Come on, forget about her. We have the island. We have to know what Sir Aubrey's doing. And he just shakes his head.
At this point, I sort of raise my hand and I say, "Look, the reason I got involved with these people is because I was taken by people in the same business as these nasty chaps here over in Egypt, and they kept me for weeks. Now, given that these are probably the same sorts of chaps, there's a very good chance that your lady love is still alive.
If she's alive, then where do you think she is? Because I have certain theories."
Well, you mentioned an island. What's this island nonsense?
He doesn't know anything, does he?
Well,
Wow.
look, I admit I may not be the brightest bulb amongst our group, but the light's still on. It may be dim, but it's still on.
So basically, to fast forward a little bit, they do fill you in to a basic degree on Grey Dragon Island.
At which point, I make mention of the situation in Kenya, the fact that they had this whole big, they had a specific place, i.e., the mountain, where they were going to do a whole big sort of sacrifice and bring everyone to that one location. And I sort of suggest the possibility that this island might be their mountain. And if that's the case, then there's a good chance that she's alive. Albeit she might not be for much longer. But they're two the two notions of invading the island and trying to find this young woman might actually be entwined, because she might be there.
They might have taken her all the way there. I don't know. And again, you see like an eye roll, and she goes, "It's obvious, Jack. They just want to lure you in there and kill you." And again, he bangs his fist on the table. I don't give a shit. I really don't. She was the only thing keeping my head screwed on properly while being here. Everything else going on. Obviously, I want to know what Sir Aubrey's doing. I want to destroy that thing as well. But at the same time, I've been through a lot of shit, Chew.
Well, rejoice, my friend. We could do it all. We could go to this island thingy and give them a damn good seeing to, and then stop what they're doing, and you could be reunited with your lady love, and everyone lives happily ever after, except possibly me, because I'm a sodden drunk who's running out of time, I'm sure.
As you take another drink, you again feel this kind of little sort of sharp, delicate object kind of just brush you in your pocket.
Yeah, at this point, I am going to bring it out. Right. Okay. Hold on a minute, because some person banged into me as I was following you, and I believe they dropped something in my pocket. I'm very
Does that
given.
happen to you often?
Not recently. Last time it was a small snifter of gin, but that was at boarding school, and I won't tell you what happened next. Given that you said it was quite fragile, I'm going to take it out of my pocket rather gingerly.
Okay. Yeah, you take it out. It appears to be a small model of a boat. However, it is completely black, as if it's been bought and then maybe painted over, judging from your kind of forgery skills. But one thing stands out. Actually, rather two things. You don't think actually that it's a Chinese boat. It certainly doesn't look like a cutter.
Yeah.
But you notice two things are painted, again, quite delicately in red. One is some words on the side, almost like the name of the boat, except it simply says, "The flower sinks." And on the sail, again, it appears to have been painted maybe afterwards, is an Egyptian cartouche with some hieroglyphs in it.
Right. I know a particular person who has a penchant for languages.
And Egyptian hieroglyphs.
And Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Oh, wait, she's dead.
Oh, yes, so she is. We do miss her so much. Okay, yes. Do you recognize this shippy?
Well, you can make me a no roll, but as you're kind of looking at it all goggle-eyed like that, you see basically all color on Brady's cheeks just completely disappear.
Yeah, that's a success.
Okay. Yeah, you think you definitely remember seeing some in Egypt. You think that they're skiffs, so sort of basic boats. They were mainly used in sort of ancient times. In fact, as your memory comes back to you, you realize, yes, you've seen them, but not actually in the river, but on kind of hieroglyphs and inscriptions and so on.
I saw ships like these in drawings in that bloody cave I was caged in. Oh God.
This is a message. There was a reason why he gave you this.
Couldn't he have just given me flowers?
They have her at maybe a boat or a waterfront or something. That's what it's saying. This is from them.
Do you think it might be in a shippy like this?
No. The fact that they've bothered to paint that up, it's all been set up. It's Ho's way of thinking he's funny.
Oh dear. Well, I think we should try and rescue your beloved. However, I think it would be good form to wait for my companions for that, because they're really good at the sneaky, stealthy stuff. I'm afraid I trip all over the damn place.
If you want in, then fine. But either way, I'm going to get her.
I would urge cautions. Clearly, this is intended, as your friend pointed out, to be some sort of trap to lure you to your inevitable doom.
I know I'm not stupid, but at the same time, I don't care anymore.
Then I would advise caution. I know you wish to save your lady love, and we may be able to, but let us find a way to do it so that you can rejoice and enjoy saving her.
And as you're trying to maybe talk Brady into being a little bit more cautious, and Chew is just going, he does not know caution. This is Brady we're talking about. We'll jump back to the other three. Yeah, you found out a little bit of info. You think maybe this recurring John Smith has stayed here. Are you then planning to make your way back to the tea house?
Yeah, we'll try and do that.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So you do go back. There is no sign of Charles, although it has now been maybe an hour or so since you kind of shook the tail.
Well, at least he made the meeting.
We'll ask for sweet cakes.
Okay. You do so in sort of basic Chinese. They look at you again, a little bit confused, maybe because you've never asked this before in here specifically, but you are then escorted as well to the warehouse.
Okay.
And when you get there, the two of you, who have been there already know the ropes. Annie, you're patted down. Any weapons confiscated.
Do they search my handbag?
I'll say that they have a kind of quick peek in, but they do realize it's a lady's handbag. They don't want to.
There's a derringer in there.
Go through. In which case, they do kind of confiscate the bag just while you're here. But you head on in to find Brady looking maybe a little broken, and Charles trying to talk him out of rushing into somewhere to save somebody. And Charles has also got a strange little black boat in his hand.
Oh, hello, friends. How do you do? Someone shoved this in my pocket.
Oh, is that the Ivory Wind?
I don't know.
Perry and Pranit, As soon as you see this and you spot the writing on the side of the boat, you instantly recognize the handwriting to be Gavagan's.
Oh, Gavagan's
fuck.
handwriting. It's not reference to the Dark Mistress by any chance?
I mean, it doesn't. You don't think it's the Dark Mistress. It's far too basic a boat to be like a fancy yacht, and it's not a cutter.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are you saying the that fellow you're tangled with in London? This is his handwriting.
Yes. Can we
But
see
my
what it
old
says?
boss.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. You did work for him, didn't you?
Oh, so what you're saying is, I apologize to the lady if I be so crude. The bastard knows we're here.
He knows we're here. I mean, he knows you're with us. This is even more worrying. See, he's never seen you before.
I mean, we
Yes,
could
me
see that
now.
coming. To be honest.
Yes, but I was hoping we'd see. I was hoping to see it coming when we were a long, long way from here.
Why a boat, though? That's strange.
Now, Mr. Brady, I'm glad to have finally met you.
Yeah,
I
this
have a
isn't really the
question.
best time, but yeah, fine.
Did you
Ask
know
away.
a flower girl on whatever it was street?
Lantern Street?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, one could say that I did know her quite well.
By the name of
Joy Mei Ling, right?
is that the one?
Yes,
from
that's
Thing?
the lady. Yes.
And were you attacked by flying dragon things that burst through the roof?
So you do know at least a little bit of the sort of stuff that Gavagan gets up to, but I didn't see most of it because by then I was gone, but I did hear that some flying creature attacked, and I know that Gavagan can beckon such things, yes.
Yes. And who the hell is John Smith?
He laughs and he says, well, that's the one part you didn't get. That's me.
No, I
John
was right
Jack.
then. Okay. So you were also at that Seaman's club then when the Deep Ones attacked.
So they have a name, those things?
Fishmen.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, but I didn't know they were actually named as such. Terrible things. I saw them start coming through the window, so I ran by that point. I was moving from one place to another, and now I'm somewhere else.
Right.
But
so, well, it's a good job you're not trying to invade an island. You've got an undersea army to defend it, haven't they?
you
Luckily,
noticed Chu
have
looking rather
access.
worried about this as well.
Luckily, well, I was already told about the island by the guys you see,
Yeah,
so it was
yeah.
kind of a rhetorical joke.
Oh,
Luckily,
no, I
we
meant the
have
deep one
access
thing, like, with the, but yeah.
to the Japanese Navy. Unfortunately, they think you're the enemy, so we need to tell them where you are, at least where Gavagan and his crew are on
You're
this
not
island.
telling them where we are. We
No,
will
no.
approach them on our own terms.
No, you misunderstand. What we need to do is tell the Japanese Navy where you are. What you in this case is actually the island.
And have you met the Japanese army?
Yes,
How big are they? What sort of numbers are we talking?
the Navy.
The actual Navy.
Well, I met a man from the Navy. Yes, we all did. And Pranit held
But
one
not-
of them down in the harbour, and Perry punched him a few times. But
But
don't
you
worry,
don't
the officer
have-
was far more accommodating.
But you don't have a contact from Japan, just this man in Shanghai.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he is Japanese. He is actually undercover for the Japanese Navy.
The one I
Well-
was talking to you about on our previous meeting.
So what you're suggesting is that you tell them that we are on the island, which will provoke them to attack.
Yes.
To at least investigate and start losing ships until they send more.
And just use
Especially
them as
if we
cannon
tell them the
fodder.
weapon is nearing completion.
Well, we all know that, but you're going to use them as cannon fodder.
Yes.
To what? To protect
just-
me?
To protect your invasion.
And what happens when they discover? What happens when they get to the point when it's a fully armed and operational island?
Oh, I can assure you that it is quite operational. Sorry, I couldn't resist. So what? So they're cannon fodder, and then once everything is all dead, we go in? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, they lead the charge, yes.
This is sounding very much like a certain movie we watched a few weeks ago.
It wouldn't hurt if they sat off a mile offshore and shelled it for a few days, but
Seaman looks kind of like this is a rather unconventional method, but he does think that you have a point.
it's very
This is
conventional.
it's a very unconventional method, dear boy, but we are dealing with very unconventional circumstances.
Well, that would certainly buy you time to get your girl back, eh, Brady? Yeah, if she is where I think she is.
Well, she's either there or in Ho Fung's warehouse, I would imagine. Now, there's one other issue I really wanted to discuss with you. It's quite important. The 7 books from Madam Lin Yin.
What about them?
Well, one of them has instructions on how to rebuild the capstone. Now, we have part of the capstone to the blood pyramid thing in Egypt.
The
You
band
found? I'm surprised it's still there. Or
We
was
found
still there.
half, but we're going to need to make a new one. Now, the details of how to do that should be in those books. Well, they are definitely in those books. I must understand how that is done to forge the new capstone, because it's not enough to beat this thing. We have to seal it in again.
Wow. Well, you've definitely filled in a few gaps for me, but yes, you're right. I have the other half, by the way. I took it as some strange keepsake, and now I don't really know why. But I do have somebody translating the rest in terms of the details and how on earth to perform this ritual of sorts. But yes, part of it, from what I know so far, is that yes, we have to make a new capstone as such, carve it and so on. But then there is a ritual to be had with it in order to power it, I suppose you could say in layman's terms.
Yes,
So
it'll
you're
have to be at a
saying-
certain place at a certain time of year or moon or whatever, yes.
So you're saying that we have to make this capstone from scratch. We can't simply rejoin the two halves.
No.
Okay.
We've tried a few times, but nothing.
Well, the two halves are useful anyway.
Well, yes. That's
We should
what we
do
have
it
to
this
make.
way.
It'd be good to so we can copy the symbol at least.
Yeah.
But yes, I do
Just
have
what-
a
Just as
contact
well, you've
who's
got someone who's
translating
very
at
good
the
at
moment.
forging on your team, isn't it?
Now,
that too.
there's just one other thing. So Madame Lin Yin really, really, really wants those books back.
Well, she's not getting them back.
I know, but she does have a lot of people following us. That's why we're late.
Ah.
Anything we do to placate her a little bit.
And I suppose I can guess what will happen if I don't hand over the books.
Good grief. Well, the world ends. Now, she's only interested in having her books back. I wonder if Charles Barrington-Smythe might be able to forge them.
Yeah, I would say that's
You
highly. If I am given the time and the materials to do so.
if you want a death wish. I've not read these books myself, but they're very, very old and they're not really like anything I've ever seen. So he better be a damn good forger to make anything remotely convincing.
Still,
I
are you?
drink to that.
I beg your pardon. Aren't you having them translated? You said.
Yeah.
Then
so we
we
know what the
keep-
ritual is.
Yeah, so we keep the translation and send the books back.
Well, we can do when it's finished, but it's going to take another few weeks at least.
Oh fuck.
It's not just your bog standard Chinese. This is ancient stuff. I've got an expert as well.
Now, what if... Now, there's 7 books, right? So if it's going to take a few more
Yeah.
weeks, I assume a couple of books are already translated.
If my contact is doing them in order, yes, but I don't know.
Doesn't really matter what order they do them in, as long as they've finished a book or two.
Yes, that would be perfect, as I then have just the plan, which is to tell Madam Lin Yu that we've found where you were and we know where you've gone. It's to this island. We can send her there just before we arrive to take some of the bullets.
From what you've told me so far, she doesn't sound that gullible.
No, she wouldn't go there herself. She'd send some men. They'd get shot and then she'd send some more.
Maybe. If she thinks it's worth the bother.
I admire your industry on this, Miss Jones. I do, however, detect a small flaw in the plan. When her men inevitably die, as they will, isn't she going to blame the people that told her to go there for their deaths and really want to kill them?
No, she'll be annoyed. Well, why did Brady kill them? And then she'll be even angrier at Brady and send more men with bigger guns, which is exactly what we want.
I think there's a small flaw in that. I think she might want to shoot the messengers.
This little island's going to get very crowded.
Yes.
I just ain't room enough for the two of us.
Here's
I'm seeing a Benny Hill finale.
Yeah. Here's the situation. We've got all these warring factions. We're just going to transplant all the warring factions onto the island and let them get on with it. Like we're doing battle royale about about 60 years before the movie.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, how about this? This may be a little help. Your drinking friend here was fairly adamant that you were going to help get Choi Mei Ling back. If that is the case, maybe I can help get these books translated a little quicker.
I turned around to sort of looking at my hand. Mr. Brady is very much in love. I have been trying to placate him that you might be able to come up with a plan that was a little more subtle and stealthy, because he is rather determined, if we can't do that he's just going to barge on in there, which
So
might
are
not
we
go
thinking
well.
she's held at the island or at the warehouse? Or at some other location?
Well,
Looking at
when he mentioned
boat.
the island, it sounded like the possibility that if she isn't there already, that might be the final destination.
It could be
Yes,
either, but
people
the
like
warehouse is easier to check.
But it
We
could
also
be-
know that Old Fangs likes to entertain himself rather in a odd fashion with young ladies.
The clue
his
is in the boat,
warehouse.
though, isn't it? The flower sinks.
Yeah.
Well, it means her.
Yeah, the flower girl sings.
Yeah, sinks, though. It can't sink on land.
No.
No.
So, looking at that boat, it's a small boat. So, I think currently, at least, he'll have her at the warehouse.
Yeah, that is what I was thinking, to be fair.
Yeah. He might move her to the island if she survives that long.
When the
Or if she's worth his bother.
when that what's it called? The Dark Mistress returns to port anyway. That's probably what they
Oh,
move
you know
her
about
on,
that
right?
as well.
I'm going to swipe a bit of paper.
Okay.
Sorry. No, sorry. There you go.
I've not actually seen the boat for quite some time.
I
I've
suspect
seen,
it's at the island with Alfred Penhurst.
yeah, Sir Aubrey, yeah, whatever. It might still be there, but even I've kept an eye on the boat for 2+ years, and this is the longest he's been from shore.
Unless he's having to personally deal with the missing machine parts.
Missing machine parts.
Yes, Perry and Pranit. Weren't you there, Charles? Or was that, no, that was before Charles was a part of the group, wasn't it? Yes, Perry and Pranit had.
Oh yes, you
hand
did
in-
tell me about these
Yes.
parts. Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe. But last time I checked, last time I heard, they were possibly gonna look for them again.
All right.
Maybe that's
well,
where the boat is.
we know what we need to do. You need to hurry those translations up so we can get this, what's her name, Madame Lin Yu off our backs. And we need to contact the Japanese Navy, give them some coordinates for where you've moved to.
Well, I can't really give you solid coordinates. I can give you an approximate place. Remember, this is not marked on the map anywhere, or not marked on any Chinese map. We only know it from sight and general direction.
Okay. But that's enough for a boat to find where it's going, right? So we'll take
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It'll be
Plot that
approximate.
onto a map, and then it's on a map.
All right. Then we get back.
It's round about this area.
Yeah, a bit like Captain Montgomery or whoever it was. Yes, this area here. Okay, cool. Right, I think that's a good time to take a little break.
All right.
See you in 5.
See you.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
I've just realised there's a few things I have not opened, but never mind.
That's all right. We didn't notice either.
No, I know.
One of the great rules for any GM.
Mm-hmm.
If the players haven't noticed it, then the GM doesn't have to admit it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I only just saw your thing in the chat about bloodstains. No, there was no bloodstain specifically left there at the club that the others could see.
I was just wondering about, give some idea of the violence or something, but I think my CSI head was on too much. Let's take some samples.
You don't have any science forensics, do you?
The only chemicals I'm in any way in an ability, this character's an ability to actually pass any sort of expertise on is the ones he's imbibing on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I suppose, unless you had anything else to ask or say to the others, your meeting kind of comes to an end. at
There's
the
one
warehouse.
question,
Yeah.
actually, which was this flower girl lover of his. What
Mhm.
name does she know him by?
Well, his name, Jack Brady.
Okay. I was just curious, like, if we said Jack Brady, was she going to go, who do you mean? Because she knows him as John or something.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Fair dues, fair dues.
And the only other thing is, like, if we're going to go and rescue this girl from the warehouse, does Brady want to send some of this new China army with us to sort of act as backup? Or
That
are we
would be
going
nice.
in alone?
I mean, it's not really his decision. It's more Chu Min's, because Chu Min is the leader. And judging by how he's already reacted to
Yeah.
Brady's
Okay.
priorities,
I actually, I'm going to go up to talk to Seaman at this point. I'm going to say, listen, do you think that your friend Mr. Brady here is a good man, someone you want with you during the final push?
if he's not stupid, then yes.
So you accept that the this lady is somewhat of a distraction for him.
Oh, far too much of a distraction.
So don't you think, given that you feel that he's a good man and you would really like him by your side in the final push, but with his head on, it would be useful to have a few of your men with us to ensure the safe return of this young lady so that he can have his head on and he'll be ready for that final push. Get him in the right frame of mind. You want to do it.
You're doing that thing again. Yeah,
I'm trying to charm
and P.
I'm trying to be charmingly persuasive. Come on.
It's still persuade, man. Okay, you can roll, but anyone can assist if you wish, if you really want to try and get more backup.
It would also be very useful to understand what Hofang has there before we go into the onto the island, because it'll help us to understand what we're up against. A little light skirmish before the big battle.
Could we go in by land and arrange to get out by boat? Perhaps we had a motorboat waiting.
Persuade skill, you say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to spend 9 points, if I may.
Okay.
To make it an extreme.
Okay, so after Annie and Perry kind of butt in with some more practicalities, he does consign a little bit and says, well, yes, I suppose if the Dark Mistress is making trips there or used to be, then it might be good to see if Mr. Ho has anything that we should know about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, top man, that's what I like to see. That's
We
real
can-
leadership.
We can be there with a boat if you need an escape plan.
A motorboat, something fast if we need to get out really, really quickly.
Okay.
All right.
I look at Adam and say, we will need to get out of here really, really quickly.
We could go into the warehouse via the boat. They won't be expecting that.
That's very true, actually.
So obviously, yeah, you got that. Okay, you got the escape plan. Are you planning to go tonight?
I think
Straight
we go
away?
in tonight. We coast up into the warehouse silently,
Mm-hmm.
and then disembark by surprise with lots of sources of light.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit it hard and fast.
That's the sources of light, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I'm just wondering if because we didn't get all of our rifles through customs, did we?
No, you didn't.
So
Ooh.
might be an idea for us to just grab a few.
Oh, yes. Just help yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we will have the big Tommy gun, and we will have the bazooka.
You won't have the Tommy gun at least, because that'll involve me looking at more rules I've forgotten about from last chapter. Because automatic bullets.
I wouldn't mind a bigger pistol than the Derringer I keep in my handbag.
Sure. Yes.
Uzi 9mm.
They're happy for you to use weapons as long as you return them for the possibly more urgent trip to the island.
All
So
right.
they have a lot, but they don't come cheap, as Stu says.
I'm just going to take the gun I'm used to. It's a 45 revolver.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to have a rifle.
Yep, they have plenty.
Yeah. Something like what I already have, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, rifle would be good. Unless we can go automatic or something.
Take a small box of ammo with me as well.
Yes,
I thought you'd forgotten all about that. I must get so many millions of bullets and store them all in my hotel room.
Well, I mean, it was a bloody good plan, but unfortunately, he died before he got to really enjoy all those bullets.
It's a great sight for the NYPD to find in his room after a murder.
Well, I was just sticking,
Uh-huh. So, did you want a .45 as well, Annie, or did you want something a bit heavier?
Yeah, just a good pistol, basically. Good handgun.
Yep, 45.
Okay.
Revolver or automatic?
Well, I was thinking about the automatic thing when I was watching the video, and I'm sure they didn't have full automatics back then. Semi, maybe.
1911 was an automatic. 45 or automatic.
There were autos at the time. They weren't prevalent like they are now, but there were autos back then.
1911 was the classic Colt.
Yeah.
Automatic.
You are correct. Yes. Okay. Ignore me then. So .45 automatic. Since we've got the page, damage is 1d10 plus 2.
Because Winston had a 45 auto.
Oh yeah, that's true. He did. Base range is 15 yards. Use is like most pistols, so 1 brackets 3 per round. So either 1 regular or 3 at penalty. 7 bullets, and malfunction rate is 100.
Did we get any of our weapons through, or did we not any at all?
Oh, some of you have managed to get the rifles
I
through. Because you were talking about hiding them in your trench coats at one point when we're going out.
Hmm.
When we're going
Wasn't
out
there
on
some
the street.
palaver with forging documents?
You were thinking about maybe forging some documents in order to get them through customs, and then I think you were possibly intending to just go and get them sorted anyway, but then
Yeah,
wasn't really talked about after that.
shit
from
got
what
in
I
the
remember.
way.
Anyway, we now got guns.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, it's not
Don't need
like
to
they've
rewatch
lost
another
them.
session.
Yeah. So you'll get them back, but yeah. Anyway, okay. So it's still pretty early in the day, even though you've just been kitted out a bit like Hot Fuzz. So is there anything else that you want to do during the rest of the Saturday day before you head on up to the warehouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to make contact with the Japanese Imperial Navy guy. And I'm just wondering if we should do the same with Ho Fung to get him out of the warehouse.
I'm surprised, and yet I really shouldn't be by now.
So, Pranit, would you like to make contact with the Navy guy?
Right. Just so we're clear, I'm saying that we know the whereabouts of Brady, that he is around the general location of the Grey
'cause
something area.
They've been watching the warehouse, and what we're going to say is Brady's operations have moved from the warehouse and are now on this island. The island is where they're actually building the machine, and the warehouse was just a
Staging post.
Just a warehouse.
Yeah.
It's just where the goods arrive briefly and stuff. But the machine is actually on this island.
Okay. Jason, the island is called the Grey Dragon Island. Island, is that correct? All right.
Yeah.
All right, I can do.
Okay. How are you planning to get in contact again with Isoge? Because basically the only place you've really seen him is at the Stumbling Tiger.
He gave us a card, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I believe
Yes,
he
he
gave us
did.
a card.
I've got better memories than me. Okay, never mind then. Okay, coolio. And
Contact him very
yeah,
easily.
I do believe I'm calling him from a public phone.
What about
Yes, yeah.
our esteemed lady? What do we tell her now, or are we going to wait?
We have to wait on that until we got the books.
Okay.
Okay, so Pranit's going to go off and make a call somewhere to Isoge. What about the rest of you?
We've not seen this warehouse yet, have we?
No, you only know roughly where it is.
Perhaps we should just
Thanks to
do
the
a
Harbmaster.
bit of a recce on it, see what the
Yeah.
ways in are, and if there's anyone outside watching the street sort of thing.
You also know of a mansion that Hofong has, which you don't think it's in the center. You think it's maybe a little bit further out.
Yeah, I have a horrible feeling if we visit that mansion, we're going to run into people like Gavigan and Sir Aubrey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we could end it now.
I'd like. Yes, we could. We could
She's
all
rubbing off
die.
on you, isn't she?
We could all die. That'll end it. How many exits from the point of view of the map? As you leave the mansion, how many roads from the mansion?
You
We
don't
don't
really know
know.
where the mansion is, so you wouldn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, we just know that exists, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try and find out where it is.
I'm almost tempted to try, actually. But it might be a waste of time considering what I'm considering. It might be a waste of time. But
Considering what are you going to forge some exits?
no, I was thinking more if there's only a couple of ways, roads, streets leading to or from that mansion,
Mm.
that causing a bit of a distraction on those roads. If Hofung or Gavagan or Aubrey are there,
Hmm.
then it's going to delay them or slow them down if they try and get out.
Yes. Well, if you did want to try and find out where it was, there is a library fairly close to you.
I've got another thought for that library as well. I want to take a note of those hieroglyphs that were on that sail.
Hmm.
I want to see if I can find out if there's any specific meaning in those hieroglyphs or whether it's just somebody's idea of a practical joke. But nothing else about that ship, that little model, has been, it's all been calculated. So I have to assume that the hieroglyphs have some meaning, some significance
Was it
as well.
hieroglyph or cartouche?
Cartouche.
Well, it was within a cartouche. Yes.
Okay. I don't suppose my archaeology could decipher that, could it?
Possibly.
Can roll it and we'll see.
Yeah. Have a roll. Oh, gosh,
That
if you
is a hard pass.
okay.
That'll do.
Having a general look at it, you don't know exactly what it says, but it's definitely not a name that you recognize from simply looking at it visually. Although what I will say is, given you know Gavagan a bit better possibly than the others, that is the kind of thing he would just do in terms of like his own name, but Egyptianified, because that's the kind of guy he is.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't it is his idea of practical joke.
Okay. I know what we need to send back to him. It's just where do we want Gavagan tonight?
6 feet under.
Okay. Where would you like some members of the new China army to be killed by Gavagan tonight?
You're not saying this in front of them, are you?
Away from us.
Okay, good.
We don't want him at the warehouse, do we? I'm pretty sure
No.
if we send a telegram to Ho Fun's mansion for the attention of Gavagan and sign it Shafiq, we can put Gavagan wherever we like. Possibly some of Ho Fun's men.
Yes.
I do believe that Gavagan is not actually that gullible.
If he was to, and he wouldn't believe it, but it's
It'd be
too much curiosity piqued not to investigate.
He's arrogant enough to believe he can handle it as well.
Yeah.
So if we want to position him somewhere, all we got to do is, I think, do that, and we can put him wherever we like.
I tend to agree.
Other side of town.
But is that you to get one shot at doing this? Is that what we want to do with it? Just getting him out of the way, or do we want to maybe actually get him into a trap?
I'd love to get him in a trap.
What do we do with him once we got him?
Nice bear trap, sort of steel thing.
I have just the place for him.
Oh, God.
The home of Madam Lin Yin Yu.
What, you wanted to fuck him to death?
No. Powerful woman meets powerful man.
Yes.
Why?
There could be an instant attraction. She could fuck him to death.
Huh.
The only problem I have with that plan is we know that she's someone who goes with the flow of the blow, and if she meets him, there's every possibility that she might think, oh, actually, he's the one to go in on with, and not them. And she might just side with him because she thinks he's the better deal.
I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, that is a good possibility.
That's the only problem I see with that. We might just fucking end up having two problems. Although otherwise, it's a great plan. All of them together. Fuck it.
The ideas.
I think it's risky.
There's one other possibility that we might consider, but it's a gamble. Can we sell? Yeah, can we sell the Japanese Navy on the idea that, Brady, he's off on this island. He's on the Grey Dragon Island, but we're pretty sure his associates are here, and point them to the mansion, and let the fucking Navy take them.
The Japanese Navy know about Ho Fung, though.
Yeah, but they're not going to do anything on Chinese mainland, are they?
Yeah. Other than that, that's a diplomatic incident.
Hence why I said gamble.
Maybe if the mansion's surrounded by water, they could do it. At this point, we don't quite know.
They know who Ho Fung is. They can't not. We know. We've only been here 2 days.
Yeah, they've been on this for ages, watching the area. And
because I would love to. Well, first of all, the problem is that we don't know he's there. We're all basing this on supposition. We don't know Gavagan's at that mansion. We could turn up at this fucking.
We know the
warehouse and
message
he
would
could be
get
there.
to Gavagan, though.
Yeah.
yeah, he's over at the mansion or on the island, didn't he?
Well, I mean, he could be at the warehouse inspecting the goods when we roll in. Worst timing ever. And that laugh suggests that it's a possibility.
If we see him, is it if we see him kill him?
Oh, definitely.
Oh God, yeah.
The guy casts spells. Don't wait for him to talk.
Yeah.
No, let's just apprehend him, send him to prison, and wait for him to escape again.
We've done
Let's
that before,
shoot him quicker than the reveal of the White Wizard.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't quick enough.
We clearly as players, we tried the whole let's apprehend him. It didn't work. We're just going to have to, kill him to death.
I don't know about you, but since I arrived in Shanghai, I've seen a lot more gang people than I have policemen. So,
I mean, there are police around, but at the same time, they're only so good at their job.
That brings a possibility. Actually, talking about the gangs, whoever controls those houses of negotiable affection,
The Green Gang, a lot of them.
yeah, they might be interested as to who sent those big flying creatures to rip up their buildings. They might be interested in finding out where Gavagan is.
if they believe it was flying creatures.
Well,
yeah,
and I don't
well, at the very least, we can say, well, your girls, the ones that earn you the money, he keeps taking them.
I think they already know.
Do they?
Yeah,
Might be worth
Ho-Fung's
pointing
too
out,
powerful, isn't it? And what they're going to do? Be open warfare. No, I think we'll keep the Shafiq card in the back pocket for now.
Mm-hmm. Do you still intend to find out where this mansion is, Charles?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's I think it's worth finding out, even if we never use the information. I think it's worth it. If for no other reason, then we can know not where to. We know which part of the city not to go around or wandering aimlessly in.
Okay. Right. So you head over to the library, just a couple of streets away. Actually, it's not far, and you try and ask as well as you can, and maybe try and spot an English person in here. But give me a library use roll, please. The rare time I ask for such a thing.
There's a reason why I've never used it.
Well, in old school, it's one of the most useful skills there is. Kitty!
Yeah, long kitty.
Oh,
Going
she's getting
long.
big.
I have succeeded.
Okay.
Just, but succeeded.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
it's
there's
enough.
certainly. You're sorry?
No, I mean it's enough to
Oh,
find
right.
basic
I hope so.
information.
Also.
I hope so.
I hope so. So yeah, they have obviously heard of Hofong, and they can quite easily they kind of pick out a series of books which appear to be sort of more detailed maps, and they open up the page on the French concession district, which is sort of a large, more spacious area out to the west, where, as you can imagine, lots of French people reside. And so on, and also it is technically French territory. But yes, they point to an area just on the kind of east side of the French concession. So on your map,
Which I'm looking at now.
yeah, I'm just trying to work out where the closest thing would be. Where are you? Shanghai, Shanghai. It oh god. Okay. Now what is that? Okay. It is a sort of. It's just northwest, a few streets across from number 21 on your map, which is a Confucius temple.
Temple. Okay. So northwest. So it's just
a few streets.
right near. It's kind of where the French concession and the old city kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of in line actually with that green space, vertically.
About 15.
Above. Yeah, the recreation ground. So it's basically bang in the middle.
Okay.
So you don't think it's in a super remote place, but given it's a mansion, there's going to be much more spacious homes, you think, around there.
Yeah. Ditch the. I'm looking at the map and sort of getting it and taking one look and ditching the idea of causing any sort of traffic problems.
No forging exits.
There's just too many ingress and egress around there. Well, my idea was if they ever had to trying to make a move out of the mansion, we could delay them somewhat by causing some sort of traffic delay. But quite frankly, there's too many exits kicking about there. There's too many ways to go up and around. So I'm not even going to consider it. But it's nice to know where it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think we should have a new plan. I think we should get one of those decorative dragon things they use at parties. We'll all hide under it, go past the mansion, and throw a fuck ton of fireworks at them.
That's great, but it's the warehouse we're attacking.
Do you remember what happened to the last person who got too close to fireworks?
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad idea getting near those fireworks. It was just...
No, it wasn't. I did put them there for a reason. Okay, so you are still going to be attacking the warehouse. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do before we fast forward to nightfall?
Just as I'm at the library, and I took a note of that cartouche anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a wee looky and see if I can get a better translate, even if it turns out just to be Gavagan's name as hieroglyphs.
It's as close as can be to Gavagan, but obviously Gavagan's not an Egyptian name or anything, but it is basically what his name would be if it was in hieroglyphs.
Yeah, so it's a fuck you on the sale. Okay.
Are we going to
Yeah.
mask up for this, or just sort of disguise our faces in some way, or is it?
Yes, because 3 white people with an Indian is in Shanghai is just so easy to disguise.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we want to if we fail. Just wondering if we run away, we don't want to give a good description, do we? Really?
They know who we are.
At this point, if Gavagan and Aubrey hear about the warehouse being hit, they're going to think it's us, even if we're not there.
Possibly.
At this point, again,
4 white people, because obviously Brady will be there.
I'd rather Brady wasn't there.
Oh, you're going to stop him from going, though, are you?
Well, but the thing is, if she is there, he's going to go. He's just going to make a beeline for it, and any plan is out the window. If she's not there, he's going to go fucking mental. Either way, he's a loose cannon we don't need.
Yeah, we can balls up on our own, can't we? We don't need someone else there.
Absolutely, we're perfectly capable of stringing it up on our own.
I'm so pleased you're going to take full responsibility for any fuck-ups.
I mean, I know who want to come. I would suggest that we try and dissuade them. Would be my thing. But I just think he's
I don't know, having a character there with plot armor sounds good to me.
Stand behind him.
Yeah, I can use him as a shield.
I love how you want to send an entire army to an island for him, but then you're like, yeah, fine, whatever, meat shield. Very inconsistent.
Yeah, that's the resolution of his character arc that we need the army for.
We're not being inconsistent. Our plans are evolving as the information comes in. That's our excuse, and we're sticking to it. Okay, head back. Are we heading to the hotel first before we hit the warehouse, have a meal or something? Or?
I don't think we should go to our own hotel tonight, because I don't think we should have our tails pick us back up.
That's a good point. I'm sure the new Chinese army can put us up in the warehouse on some bunks or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Pranit, you do get hold of Isogay, and he does come and meet you in, let's say, a secluded place, and you relay the information to him. He is, of course, rather interested at this unfolding predicament, and he sort of says, "You are quite sure that he has gone all the way out to this island?" Very interesting, and the fact it is near completion too. I will let the Navy know. But I must thank you for your investigations. They've been very helpful to us. I will mention your names if you are willing.
No.
Yeah, just tell them not to shoot us.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine if you don't.
Either way, it is up to you. But the credits should be where it is due.
And I thank you for that. But it really depends on whoever completes the mission. We're just middlemen doing research, not doing frontline duties.
Very true. Very true. I may not see you again, but thank you anyway for the information. And you may hear of us later, at least, on the island.
Hopefully. Best of luck to you and your man.
Arigato. And yeah, he heads on off, presumably to set things in motion for the raid on the island, which is absolutely nothing like the start of the Suicide Squad movie. Becky?
Yeah, Doctor Evil's island wasn't in Suicide Squad, so
Oh god, I do like that bit though, where there's like the whole argument with like, what, you're just gonna put them in that place and you're not even gonna watch them die? No, I don't need to watch them die. I've got a gun in my room, I can go and get it right now and you can shoot them. That is very funny. Anyway, okay, so I guess you meet back up. Are you planning to kind of stay somewhere else for a bit then?
I think we're just going to stay with the New China Army until we go on the mission, because we've lost our tails. We're where we need to be. Why go out and pick up a fresh tail and then come back?
True. And 3 of you know where the warehouse is, because you were more trusted than the other one. But anyway,
but I was allowed to leave without the blinders on to go to the museum, so I can get back now.
Yes, by that point, yes, fair enough. Okay, so nightfall comes, and you're in there. Now, you were thinking about possibly preventing Brady from coming. Is that still a thing?
I'll go with the majority of the group. My instinct is to try and get him to stay because I think he's a loose cannon.
I'm not entirely sure we want to do that.
Yeah, I don't know, as long as it doesn't stand in our...
My biggest concern with having Brady with us is if we're seen by one of the swallows.
Also, yeah.
Or
the Japanese.
Or the
Japanese, yeah.
No, it doesn't need to come.
Or the Green Gang or anybody else. Oh dear. So I imagine in theory you are going to be kind of being quite sneaky, rather than all guns blazing for the moment. Although you did say you're going to go on a boat, yes, and make your way.
Yeah, we're going to go into the warehouse, fire boat, and sort of quietly coast up.
Okay.
We're not hitting it by the street. We're going to go in the harbour way.
Yep. Was that the harbour way or the harder way? No, I heard
harbour.
Yes. Okay. Fine. That's absolutely fine. So, it is still a full moon, just about.
Wait, what?
So...
What?
Is that good or bad for us?
I was just going to say that it's fairly well lit when there are no clouds in the sky.
So it's bad.
Although actually, technically I should allow this actually because it's in the book. As you pull up to the dock, which is just kind of underneath the warehouse, give me a group luck roll.
Come on, Perry. Unmute yourself.
We believe in you.
Well, you want to hear this, do you?
We want we need the early warning sign by your reaction.
Believe in the heart of your dice.
Okay, well that is...
He hasn't got any spiky hair. A what?
2 over as a fail.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So basically, there are occasional clouds that pass over the moon, but apart from that, they kind of start going away again a bit, and there's no sign of any more coming. So yeah, basically the weather
We're
stays the
not
same.
very lucky as a group, are we?
No, you're not.
Hang on. What happens if we shoot the Canadian?
I thought you were going to say shoot the moon or something.
We will have the contradictory. We will have the contradictory forces of our karma going down and our luck going up.
Can confirm.
Okay, I'm just double checking something. Okay. So you pulling up, and you obviously disembark from your boat. You can hear sort of occasional noise inside, but it is a big warehouse, and you're not entirely sure where people are at the moment. In terms of windows, they're very high up, possibly even like a first floor up. However, as you're kind of moving in, there's like another sort of bit that juts out a little more. You can see an iron hatch that you could access, but basically you would need to kind of pull down, almost like a trapdoor, and hoist your way up.
Sorry, are you saying there's no way into the warehouse except via this trapdoor?
Not immediately so, unless say you had rope
So-
possibly to scale up the wall.
Right. Sorry, I'm just trying to understand the scene as described, or rather, trying to hear a description. So,
So the dock is kind of slightly under the warehouse. You think there might be another way up, and obviously there's the road, or like a walkway or something where you could get round to the front door if you wanted. But where you are at the minute, that is basically your options.
okay, so the warehouse juts over the harbour,
Yes, yeah, just like a tad jutting over.
and there's no door on the back wall.
Not this side of the wall, no.
So the warehouse's only access to the river is via a hatch over the river. Is that right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, there might be other ways down to the river.
So when you say might,
As in that's what you can see so far.
Well, that's suspicious in itself, having a trapdoor to the river.
I mean, I kind of see where you're coming from. I'm trying to justify the map, but that is what it is.
I think
It's not like the Mombasa Harbour.
I think the confusion is it's a warehouse on the riverfront, and it doesn't have a loading bay.
We were expecting a key with the building on top.
You know,
sort
we're
of thing,
expecting a big door and a loading bay for goods to come in and out of, and all we've got is
I'm being an idiot. That's why. Just the way it's drawn a little bit. That
did
you
we go
think
to the wrong warehouse? We go back out to the river, sail around, and then we stealthily approach the correct one, cutting the engine again and coasting it.
No,
Yeah.
okay. So basically it's one dock. It's not two. I thought it was a separate bit for some reason. So you're on the side of the warehouse.
Yeah.
You think that the main entrance is just sort of round the side, and people would like carry stuff around to where you are. So that's like one way in. So like the front like larger doors or something like that. But you have also found potentially a more secluded way of getting in.
Right.
So yeah,
So
goods
what-
come off, and the loading bay is around the side of the building rather than direct. Yeah.
The loading bay is around the side to the right. This trap door is on the left side.
Okay. Well, let's try and sneak in through this trap door.
Yeah.
So we'll
I
use
agree.
a boat hook to open it.
Okay.
Is this where they lower the people down through the trap door into the stock?
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. Long drop and short stop.
Okay. Give me stealth rolls as you
Charles,
pull it
stay where you
open.
are.
Pull it open and start climbing through.
I'm going to spend 3 points of luck unless somebody else completely fucks it up.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a regular for me.
I got a hard pass.
Do I have to roll?
I got a 16.
Yes, Charles, you have to roll.
Can we keep him in the second wave?
I'm quite happy to wait till everyone else has snuck on first. Bang on.
Okay. All right. So all of you at least pass. Okay.
I haven't killed you yet tonight. Thank God.
Which of you got hard passes or above?
Perry got a hard pass.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Okay. So Perry, yeah, you sneak in nice and cleanly, and you appear to be in a small storeroom of sorts. Although, interestingly, the way out is a single door, which appears to be, you think, bolted. It's certainly quite reinforced looking, this door, and there doesn't appear to be any other way out. So you judging from that, you have a feeling that there might be some quite valuable things in here. The others, you do also manage to climb up, but it's a little bit more kind of rickety going. You think you're being fairly quiet. But as the last of you pops up, you hear some whispering from the other side of the door as if they've possibly heard something.
Okay, I was going to say, the first thing I want to do is cross to the door to listen to see what I can hear outside.
Okay. Yeah. So you quickly slip over. Again, it's a fairly small room, so easy to do. You can hear at least two, possibly more than two people who are slowly moving towards the door as well. And you don't know what they're saying because it's in Chinese, but it definitely sounds kind of like, what's that noise sort
Okay.
of.
Is the room to get behind these crates?
I mean, they are smallish crates. You could try and hide behind some of them, although you might not all four of you be successful. But yeah, you could try.
I could stand behind the door. If the other three could sort of like hide.
Yeah,
So
we'll stand behind the valuable things with our guns drawn at the door.
Yeah.
Because they'll be less inclined to shoot, and also we'll just let them unlock the door for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take my sword out because I'd like to go to the silent approach first.
The decapitation in warehouses number 2.
Yes.
I'll draw my pistol.
Oh, certainly be silent.
Okay.
Apart from the fact that the warehouse workers might suddenly wonder why somebody's bowling in the dead of night. all they can hear is this round thing rolling down the corridor.
Okay, so just remind me, sorry, who's drawing a gun? So we've got Perry,
Me.
Charles. Oh, all three of you. Okay, and then Paris got sword. Okay, fine. But Perry is the closest to the door. So yes, you do hear the sound of keys turning, and
Pranit want to stand next to the door if he's got a sword.
Yeah, I'd rather do that if I might.
okay, yeah. So yeah, you can. There's room either side of the door. So yeah, one.
Well, I just thought I'd be behind the door, so I don't think there's any point in being on the other side. I think the person needs to be behind it.
Okay.
To be shielded from the outside.
Fair dues. Okay.
Sorry, Jason, you didn't. I don't believe you did give me the stats of my sword.
No, I didn't. Just because I hadn't really thought about it. So let's have a look.
Just to know if the stats are the same of my old gone saber.
Well, It should be a little nicer, at least, because it's a very fancy sword, and she did make it herself. As in paid other people to do it, of course. So no. Oh, saber, sword. Dun, dun, dun. Why even are the swords in here? Here we go, saber. Okay, so I believe yours is 1d6 plus 1, is it? Damage bonus, or is it like a sword cane? So 1d6.
My saber was 1d8 plus 1 plus damage bonus.
Oh, it was a proper heavy sword. Okay. Okay. Let's make it 1d8 plus 2 plus damage bonus.
All right, 1d8 plus 2 plus db. All right, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so you do hear the sound of a key turning in the lock. There's a little bit more conversation, slight confusion possibly, as in like, why are there people possibly on the other side of a locked door sort of thing. But anyway, the first one then opens the door. Pranit, since you technically have some surprise, since you're right next to the door, I will allow you to attack without them having time to dodge.
All right. That's a regular pass.
Okay. Roll your damage, please. I'll just put it on here.
All right, that's 10.
10, okay. HP. Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely a major wound, but let's see who it is. So, oh, actually, that one there, that kills him outright. So, you do, I guess, decapitate this one, just like the other one. The head flies off into the next one, and let's see if he's startled by that. Interestingly, no, he isn't. But he gets a kind of a smaller blade ready to lunge at you, which is what he's going to do. So he tries to basically counterattack as the head falls to the ground. Oh, okay. Are you going to dodge, fight back, maneuver?
I'm fighting back. Oh, thank you. I'm spending. Oh no, I don't. Oh no, I have to spend. I'm spending 3 and make it an extreme.
That's the way they do it.
So it's an impale. Okay. So 8 plus a d8 plus 2 plus your damage bonus.
So you said 2d8, right?
It's maximum, so it's an 8 plus your
okay.
maximum damage bonus, and then the 2, and then you roll.
All right.
Because
So,
impaling is insane.
All right. So rolling, it's an 11 plus 8. It's 19, 21, and 1d4.
Okay.
25.
Well, you get 4 with that anyway because it's maximum.
Yeah.
You basically eviscerate the second one. Feel free to describe how you do so.
Basically, I just wait for him. As he lunges, I just step on the right and just pull the sword through his stomach.
And I imagine lots of blood splurts everywhere. Okay. What I'll say is the other one is kind of a little bit further away. The 3 of you get to, of course, have a go because you have loaded guns. So, am I right that Perry's got the highest out of the 3 of you?
My dex is 70.
Yeah, 70. I know Charles is 40, and
40,
yours
yeah.
is 65, is it?
55. But they're all dead, right?
Okay. There's one left.
There's one left. Okay. Is the one that's left got a gun?
No. No, you don't.
And we don't
think
want to
so.
shoot because we don't want to wake. We don't want to alert the rest of the warehouse. So
We don't know.
I'm
Okay.
almost tempted. Can I cut the distance? Am I close enough to cut the distance and hit him?
I mean, all three of you could really. Basically, if we're still in initiative order anyway, whether you're using your gun or not, because it's still numerical.
Yeah.
Just plus 50. So, Perry, if you would rather, say, use Mary, you could.
I've got the pistol out. I'll go for pistol whipping.
Yeah.
Or pistol whip. Okay. Yeah, you can
That was
do.
my idea. I was going to go up and pistol whip on the wall.
Give me a brawl roll.
A brawl roll. 56. Okay, I'm spending some points on that. I'm spending 5 to make that a pass.
Okay. Well, he failed. So, okay, roll your damage.
That's just unarmed, is it? Or
technically, it would be a bit like with a blackjack.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That'd be a D6 plus your damage bonus.
D6 plus damage.
If you've got a damage bonus, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's 4.
4. Okay. Lost that. Okay. That's fine. So you do clobber him quite hard, and he kind of falls to one side. Let's see. Okay. Next up then is Annie.
I'm just going to aim.
You're going to aim. Okay. No worries. And Charles.
I'm going to pistol whip him.
You're also going to pistol whip. Okay.
Very roughly.
Okay. Mr. Pilot. Give me a brawl roll. He keeps rolling 69s.
I'm going to spend 4 points of luck to make that a normal roll.
Okay. Once again, here's a fail. 69s. So roll your damage, please.
D6 plus my
your damage bonus.
Damage bonus. 2.
Just 2.
Just 2. 1 on each.
Okay. You managed to.
I lightly tickled him with my with my revolver.
You just sort of graze the shoulder a little bit.
I think I'm clearly ashamed about the fact that I've got a brawling score of 84 and I missed.
Fair enough. So he is basically going to try and counterattack you. He's got a little sort of sickle that he's using. Are you going to dodge or fight back, Charles?
I'm going to fight back.
Okay.
In the sheer hope that I can fucking roll better this time.
Yep. Make me a brawl roll.
I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay. That is maximum damage then, and he failed because again he rolled a 16.
That would be 10 points then.
10 points. That's what I thought. Okay. Fine. So.
Okay.
Oh, actually, that's because his HP is 9. Yeah. So yeah, you absolutely just sock him to the ground. Charles, can I have a luck roll, please?
I'd rather have done that before I just spent those last few minutes. No, not even close.
Okay.
Rolled 90.
Not a problem. Ooh, okay. He falls onto just a couple of small boxes, and there is a little bit of a crunch, and you kind of wait with bated breath.
I turn round to everyone and go, shh.
But as far as you can tell, and you can make listen rolls actually as well if you want to, but as far as you can tell, you don't think anyone else has heard you.
I have hard passed the listen roll.
That's
Okay.
a hard pass.
No.
Okay. Pranit?
Sorry. Oh, regular.
Okay. So yeah, the three of you who passed, yeah, you don't think that for now anyone else has heard you. Annie and Perry with the hards. Whilst you don't hear any people coming or anyone kind of talking or anything and implying that they'd heard you, you can hear the sound of, you think maybe chains like clanking or jingling beyond the door. Quite faint sounding.
While we're doing this, can I just push the door sort of closed as well,
Yeah.
so people can't see us in?
Yeah, sure. Of course you can. Yeah. You certainly can.
Okay. We'll have a little rummage through these boxes then, because if this is a valuable stuff, it could be some, mythos stuff in here.
Okay.
Can we take the keys for the door as well? Can we lock the door from the inside?
Yeah, I'll say you can. Sure.
Because if we want to get out, we can lock the door from the inside. And
Well, you realise the chains we could hear is almost certainly the girl we're after rescuing. But
yeah, I know. But when we're on the way out, we can lock the door after us and
I see.
stay before we're getting out. But yeah, we'll check the boxes.
Yeah, rummage.
Okay. So there are various rather nice objects in here. It even says the keeper may wish to supplement this list with items of their own devising, which I really can't be bothered to do. There are several statues of the bloated woman. So some of them are quite large, sort of 30 centimeters or so.
Gonna need you to defecate again.
Some of them are white, which Charles, you're the first person to kind of realize. You realize it's made of mutton fat.
Oh.
And also some are made of jade. As you look at these, actually, given their grotesque designs, could I have sanity rolls from everyone, please?
Oh
dear.
No.
I have to do one of these in a while.
Oh, failed by 3. Can't use sanity on that, can you?
Oh, fuck it.
I mean,
That's
luck.
it.
No.
No, failed as well.
I passed by 5.
I passed by, thank God, 58.
Okay.
That's
So
not fine.
if you pass, you don't lose anything. If you fail, it's not much, although for a certain person that could be a problem. That is going to be 1 for you, Charles, but it is still enough to trigger your indefinite insanity.
Yes.
And 1 as well for you, Annie. Right, where is that table of good things? Let's see.
Right.
Table of the stealth is no longer working.
Right. You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Could you roll me a D100, please, Charles?
91.
Oh, how very nice.
Again, wrong words to use.
In fact, no, I won't say what exactly. Just give me a second. Wait, is it even here? I'm not entirely sure. In fact, no, you know what? I'll just find it in the book. Okay. While I'm finding this, those of you who don't suddenly pause in shock, you also find some strange-looking bones, quite large. Anyone with a cult, so basically Annie, you can roll an occult roll, or you can do Cthulhu Mythos as well, if you like.
The occult is a pass.
Oh, actually,
Mythos
you
isn't.
can. I was going to say you can have a bonus die if you want.
Oh, what? The situational bonus die on the Mythos?
Yeah. On either of them.
Oh, well, I already passed on the occult, although if I did that as the occult roll, that would have been a hard. Yeah, so... I mean, there's no point doing a bonus
Okay.
die on 13. So, yeah, that'll be a hard pass then.
Yeah, basically, you know that they come from a Biarki.
Oh.
Hence the bonus die, because you already know a little bit about
Oh,
them.
my poor creatures, they've been hurt. There's my 1 point of sanity gone. That's what actually caused the sanity loss. It wasn't these fat grotesque things. It's like my poor babies have been hurt.
However, you also your memories jogged from your reading about Biarkis as well, in that you remember that the bones can also be used as possible spell components, especially in the brewing of space mead.
Oh. And what's space mead for?
You're not sure yourself. You maybe could be to do with something like hallucinogenics. You have heard of people taking it for their own pleasure rather than a poison.
So we came across it earlier in the campaign, but that was a different character.
True, yes. Let's see if there's anything in here that would make sense for Charles. Ooh.
That's got to be a huge umbrella at this point.
Well, yes, in theory. Okay, I'm not going to get you to roll because this is actually quite appropriate. So you take a look at these bloated woman artifacts, and you look at the jade, and you think, okay, it's fairly nice quality, but this is an idol that is grotesque. It is petty and horrible and should not be worshipped. You, on the other hand, are much more suitable as an idol for worship. You have developed theomania.
In other words, I think I'm God.
Not
You
another
think that
one.
you're a
Welcome to
god,
my
yes.
wheelhouse.
Oh, I didn't know I had a name for my actual real life condition.
Oh dear.
Did we really need another one?
Well, as gods go, she's a little on the plain side. Reminds me of my physical education teacher.
So, as you're kind of
He
starting
wasn't
to
much.
monologue,
He wasn't that good either.
trying to kind of monologue yourself and possibly talk a bit too loudly, Brady tries to shut you up by basically covering your mouth. If you don't shut up, I'll knock you out. How's that? Okay. Is there anything else? Yes.
I'm gonna help him, Charles.
Yes. The other thing you find here, which is of some value, something made of bronze, appears to be some sort of like a bowl or a vessel, something like that. Again, you could do a Cthulhu Mythos roll if you want, Annie, for this one.
Oh, I failed by 4. Should I spend luck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think at this point the information will be worth it.
Okay. Then I pass.
Okay. So, you think it's some sort of ritual vessel, possibly with preparing meals for the dead. It's definitely involved in like ceremonies and stuff, maybe collecting blood if there's like blood sacrifices and stuff. It kind of reminds you of something you saw in the British Museum once, that kind of sort of ritualistic feel to it. Although another thing you notice about this bowl specifically, there are these two handles, and they're made of tusks, but you realize after looking at it, they're not elephant tusks or even sort of boar tusks. But you think they might be from your favorite winged creatures instead.
Oh
No. Sorry, not those favorite. The other favorite, the hunting horrors.
Oh, well, they're not my favourite. They're my least favourite.
Well, I was being sarcastic with that.
I like winged horrors.
Okay. Also, in terms of what else is in here, it's not so much valuable stuff, but there's quite a lot of different worldly items in here. There's a lot of Chinese stuff, you think, but there's sort of a bit of Indian stuff, Pranit, you realize, some African stuff you recognize from Kenya, for example. Interestingly, you see some items that might possibly be from Polynesia or Oceania, that sort of area of the world. But also you find 6 small crates that are labeled AP.
AP.
Yes.
Aubrey Penhue or the other guy,
Let's
Penhurst.
crack them open.
Okay. Well, they look fairly familiar to Pranit and Perry. You think they're more of these small, intricate machine parts.
Will the crate fit through the trapdoor?
Yes, absolutely.
Or we at least drop them in the harbour.
One thing I'll let you do, since you did say you had mechanical repair, you can give me a roll, Perry, although it's going to need to be a damn good one.
It is 25. What's my mechanical repair? That's 5 short of a hard. That's a pass.
Yeah, you definitely...
Should I spend 5 to make it really good?
You're going to need an extreme, really, to know much more about these.
Fair enough.
Okay, so, I mean, you could push if you want, of course, but I assume you don't want to. I mean, if you fail, I'll say that you drop the bits and make a fuck ton of noise.
No, I don't think we want to do that.
Let's just lower them down into the harbour. Pass them down to the because we've got people on the boat below, right? So we'll pass them through.
Yeah.
And have them toss them overboard.
Okay. So you recognize it. You definitely think it's linked to this machine, but you still have no idea what it is or what it does or anything like that. Okay, so you carefully load them down, and Brady kind of helps do the muscle work, and so on with that. So I guess you're going to be heading through the door, since that's the only way out of that small room, unless you want to go round the front or something.
Toward the chains.
Toward the chains.
Yeah.
Okay. So you slowly open up this door. You notice that there's actually a table and chairs outside, like right outside this door, which have got some playing cards just kind of spread across it, and a few cups. It's a big warehouse, this, and fairly dark, but you can definitely hear chains coming from further along your wall. There are quite a lot of sort of corridors, shall we say, of different crates and so on that you kind of have to move around a bit. But you start coming into view of what you think the chains might be. Basically, you hear a small gasp actually from Brady, who sees this first, in that he sees presumably Choi Mei Ling, a lady who's suspended on some sort of pulley crate, and she's chained by her wrists, and she's dangling over with her feet just touching possibly water or maybe something else in this large vat that's presumably been positioned below her. There is a balcony where this pulley is, and you can see that there's a door to possibly an office or maybe an administrator's area, something like that.
How do we get up to the balcony from here? Is there some steps?
You think that there's somewhere. There is another corridor on your level, which leads to a few other sort of smaller rooms and things. So there might be some stairs up there.
Is this? She let out a gasp, so she's still alive.
Brady let out the gasp, but yes,
Oh.
she is still alive. You can see that she kind of looks down. She's gagged, so she can't really talk, but she's blatantly conscious and looking at you, and her legs are sort of kicking slightly.
Whisper up to her, nod your head if there's anyone else here up there with you.
She nods, but she struggles to do so. Looking at her more, even though she's wearing clothing, it's quite torn in places, and you actually see that on her feet and around her ankles, something has been gnawing at her feet. There's sort of chunks of skin that are missing, and sort of coagulating blood forming.
This vat, is it on wheels?
Yes, it is on
Right.
wheels, but
We'll
there
push-
appears to be like a brake. Well, there you can take the brake off, of course, but
Yeah. Well, we'll try moving it, because if it's heavy enough, it's presumably not going to make much noise because it's just heavy. It's not like squeaky
depends.
wheels.
Exactly. Can you make me a stealth
now
roll, please?
hang on. Now, you know what we'll do? We've got these goose fat statues. So we'll use the fat on the wheels to grease them.
That's genius.
I don't think the person who wrote this chapter really expected that at all. Okay. Okay, you do so. So that will take a bit of time, but yeah, it'll definitely make the wheels quieter. I'm just going to make some rolls quickly. Okay. And in fact, as you start carefully moving this big vat, the tips of her toes kind of come into view, and they're actually black from some liquid that's in the vat. You think it might be tar.
Might be what?
Tar or pitch. They used it to keep boats watertight. You know, that sort of black liquid.
All right.
Sticky stuff. However, Annie, as you're kind of moving this vat away, out of the corner of your eye, you can see several more people further down the warehouse towards the front door that's starting to move and kind of come your way.
Okay. Point the gun down the corridor and signal to the others to get into position, into cover.
Yeah,
Okay.
are there any crates around to stand behind?
There are plenty of crates, absolutely, yeah. So you can do that. So, I mean, technically you can be in cover if you want to shoot, but also it'll be harder for them to spot you. What I will say, I wouldn't mind, let's go for a dex roll to see how quickly you get behind cover.
How many of them are coming?
It's hard to see from where you are, but Annie definitely spotted one at least.
All right.
Make mine.
I got a hard pass on Dex.
Dex. What's my dex? All right.
Just a standard from me.
Yep.
That's a 1 for me.
I bailed.
Wow.
Pranit literally just shrinks inside his turban.
Whoop.
I was going to say, if they're down the warehouse, if they're a long way away from us, we'll probably be better off using rifles. Pranit.
Sure. It's a big enough warehouse to use rifles. That's no problem. So yeah, basically, to try and kind of describe it a bit further, you're kind of in the closest amount of cover between. Well, you're between some kind of crates and cover and the office wall, and possibly a way up. So you're kind of on that side of the warehouse. but yeah, you all get into cover, no problem. And they have to still walk quite a way to get to you. But more and more come into view. There's a good sort of 5 or 6 that you can see, and there might be more. And you know as well from Choi Mei Ling that there's people upstairs as well. So, what is your plan? You can fire if you wish. You do have time to do so.
I don't know if it is worth it to shoot before they actually start acting towards us. If they're coming our general way, but then going in another direction, there's no point in making noise if they're not seeing us.
They're not moving like they're expecting us to, like they've seen us, are they? Are they just casually walking? Or?
That kind of a bit in between. So that it doesn't appear like they've spotted you. Although having said that, they are going to notice at some point that you've moved the vat.
They might come halfway up the warehouse and take some crates back down again. You don't know, do you? I mean, we might fire and.
Well, they've moved the vat.
Yeah, but if they don't come all the way down to this warehouse, they might not notice. Can we go down and push the vat back?
You could, but you would need a stealth roll to do that.
I'll try it. I'm very sneaky.
Whilst you can easily duck behind cover and so on. You can even duck behind the vat. It's a big vat.
Yeah, I'll try and sneak the vat back into position.
We'll cover you.
And I did it with a hard pass.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. Although, okay, no problem. Yep. So you carefully do it back into position. Choi Mei Ling looks a little worried and surprised at this, although she can't really protest. But she just kind of move a bit more in her suspended position. You get behind cover again. As you do so, you start hearing them talking quite close to you, and then they kind of come into view. And they say something up to the office, and you hear the sound of a rather familiar voice say something in Shanghainese to them. It's definitely Gavagan.
Uh-huh. Should have sent that fucking telegram.
I fall to pieces.
Well, Ben, we were right to do what we've done. What we're gonna have to do is not meta, but make sure we start with killing him.
Are we going to try and back out without making any contact, or
no,
we have to? We can't fight these guys because literally our first move has to be kill Gavagan, or he'll cast spells on us.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going upstairs.
You're gonna go upstairs. Okay.
I'll try stealthily to go upstairs.
I'll try and sneak behind him to do the same.
I'll try and cover the guys in the warehouse then, so you don't get cut off upstairs.
Okay. Charles, you with your mania at the minute. Actually, I didn't roll for how long this is going to last. Actually, okay, you're still going. There are 5 people here who aren't bowing down and worshipping you. What's all that about?
For I am Dionysus. I am. At this point, I'm just going to stand up and go into full flow. I am that God, and God is I. I am as large as God. He is as small as I. I cannot above him, nor him below me be. Yes, I did watch Cape Fear a few weeks ago. Is where I got that particular quote from.
We will see what happens in response to that next time.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Don't blame me, blame the mania.
Okay, so in my summary, I'm writing, and Charles fucks everything up.
Gavagan dies first, Charles second.
Hey, any luck, Gavagan's is gonna try and take me on, and me with all that fervor, I'm just gonna brain him one. Because if he gets close enough to hit, I'm going to fucking brain him. I'll just like, bap. I shall smite thee, unworthy one.
He's upstairs, you're downstairs, and he's a magic user, and you just think you're God.
Yes.
And you're
but
possibly
it's-
the only one who
that
doesn't know any
sums it up.
spells yet.
But it's the thought that counts.
Yeah, does it?
When it comes to people with mania, absolutely.
All right.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to
As always, it's been good.
Absolutely, always.
It's good to be back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we back for Saturday's game, or is there still somebody away on the weekend?
No.
I think
We're
we're
back.
here for once.
I do believe I'm available.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll actually have to watch the last session then, see if I can remember that campaign.
Yeah, same.
Yay.
Yeah. I've still got 2 weeks off now, so.
Righty
nice.
ho.
Very, very nice. Cool. Right. I will obviously update the Mara board and so on. And yeah, Pranit's doing summary next time. Cool. Actually, before I forget, well, I could actually technically do it next week, couldn't I? Because we already finished. All right, never mind. I'll do it next week. Cool. In that case, then, thank you everyone for playing, and thank you to Matteo for watching in the future. And we will see you on Saturday / next week, where we will see a fake god fighting somebody else, a potential god complex. Although that's more cerebral, really, if anything. 2 Brits fighting each other. That'll be fun. We will see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everybody.